Hey everyone, it's Pup Luca and welcome back to the podcast. Now we've got another special guest this week and I can't wait to IPTC how this turns out. Enjoy. Now please welcome to the podcast the International Puppy 2024, my title daddy, and just giggling little piss pig, Jaxx.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so special to be here with you.
Thank you for joining me all the way over here in Meandrin, Brisbane.
Thank you. Yes. No, we've come all the way from Paw'd in Western Australia, land of big holes. So they're having
Here
to
she
deal
is.
without. Yeah, right. Just for this weekend. Yeah.
It's holeless. How will they cope?
Oh, they'll find a way. Yeah, they've got that good old man in money.
Oh, this episode is going to be chaos. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, between crying and giggling, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen.
No, I should have stocked up more tissues for this episode, honestly.
Yeah, the one crate for QPHC was just, just enough.
Just enough. The big Costco box, not sponsored by Costco, please sponsor me. I will be saying that to every brand because it's stupid and no one will, but I don't care.
Look, if you cast enough nets, eventually you'll catch something.
Eventually we will. We'll get something. But yes, as we said, International Puppy 2024. The first time Australia has ever held the International Puppy title.
That's right.
How'd you feel?
I wish I could tell you. It's been a great honour to be able to bring the puppy title. Of course, we had international handler for that year was David, who hails from Australia as well. But this is the first year that the puppy titles come to Australia. So it's not lost on me the brevity of that and the significance of how challenges are going to look different coming from the other side of the world to a lot of events.
The other hemisphere as well.
Yeah, it's quite a challenge.
Is it also the first time the Southern Hemisphere has won?
Yes.
She's double. She takes two.
Not yet, but I am
heard.
working on it, yes. Not sponsored by Xlu. Please sponsor me.
Please do. She needs it. So what was it like over in IPTC? So for those who don't know, the International Puppy and Trainer Competition. Here in Australia, we refer to them more as handlers. Internationally, it can be referred to as trainers as well. Both terms are fine. It's not like you must call it one specific. But yeah, what was it like over there, meeting like obviously some European pups, some American pups, getting a vibe of different scenes? What was that like?
Yeah, it was incredibly exciting to be able to see a range of different expressions of pet play. It's always so encouraging how we've all been brought together by this one kink, and yet the way that we all experience it is so different. It's a wonderful time to be able to see what other PAs, what other communities, what other countries do, and what we can share with each other, learn from each other, and bring back to our home communities, and really, really bolster and hold one another up, is fantastic to be able to be part of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was... Like, because, again, IPCC, different level, being a previous Australian puppy, being my little dash daddy. And
little?
I'm trying to be flattering. Unless you're offended by that word, then I will use the opposite. Yeah, what's it... Like, over there, the comps are different. It's not quite the same as the Australian competition.
Yeah. So there are a couple of differences there. One that is quite notable and that had me a little bit worried, if I'm completely honest, is a show ring round that they do, which I'd be lying if I said I wasn't terrified for that, because it's necessary during that round to be handled as a puppy. It's very sort of like Crufts. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. For some reason you said Crufts and I pictured Kim Woodburn. Not sure why.
Oh, I immediately went to the pizza place, but that's different. Yeah.
Oh.
Branding, not going to mention that.
Sponsor
But that was a little bit, I don't want to say confronting, but being handled is not something that I do regularly in my experience of pup play. So I did absolutely get in my head a little bit with that one, and I wasn't sure how I was going to approach this. The idea being, much like a dog contest show ring, you're given commands that you have to obey. In the case of IPTC, that's 2 randomly selected commands, and then a personality trick, which you have the opportunity to practice with, in my case, the handler that was handling me for that weekend. Huge shout out to Lyle there, who is one of my dearest friends, and really carried me through this competition. And that's the preparation for was quite jarring, because I was very conscious that I was doing something with, the world looking on this, that I was doing for the first time. It's not a regular part of my play. But I also didn't stop laughing. We were so silly with it. I got the opportunity to make a number of fisting jokes on stage.
How out of character.
Yeah, honestly. No, so you have seen my Twitter, yeah.
I've stumbled upon. And I was like, oh, what's this? And then I realized it was you, and I was like, oh! Well.
Yeah, no, close, delete, app, throw phone.
Let you naked under those clothes, slut.
Well, yes, no, yeah, it's part of my brand, yeah. Giggling piss pig and noted nudist.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Soon available through Tosk, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Probably sponsored.
Yeah. Also, yes, support your local kink groups. But yeah, I had so much fun with the entire thing. All of our class were
Cats.
incredibly...
It's because you were saying show ring, so you've gone full production.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, we were all so supportive of one another. And that, again, ties into what I was saying earlier about the ways that even though we're potentially feeling a little bit out on a limb, the one kink has brought us all here together. We all want to see each other thrive, no matter how we approach it. And the level of support that each of my classmates showed was phenomenal, and really made the whole journey just so fun and entertaining, despite the nerves.
Yeah. I'm so glad it was live streamed as well. Mm-hmm. Massive thanks to Biru for that.
Yeah, they... Biru and Handler David, as sort of the AV crew for this, did such an incredible job. They really brought it to life for so many people, particularly here in Australia, that couldn't make it over. Because it is the other side of the world.
It is, and I remember
hard.
trying to set an alarms and making sure I got up on time that I could tune in and watch it from Australia. Being in Chicago, it's... Yeah, time zones for all the way over here is a lot. Time zones for like people watching in the UK as well. It's still a lot further than people think, and getting the live stream up for them to have the chance to watch. And I remember setting it and tuning in. I managed to catch your show ring and I think a couple of the others. I can't remember which ones now. But even then, and like you said, doing a trick each kind of thing, everyone brought their own little spin to it. It was really nice to watch it, even just online, and seeing everyone's different personalities into it. Like, yes, it's the same kink, but it is so personal.
Yeah, and that was something that was so fun. Of course, I laugh and I joke, but yeah, Pearson fisting is something that I absolutely love. So I really wanted to incorporate that into my performance, and I was silly and campy and stupid with it. And Rexy as well, for instance, was just so ridiculous through their performance. It was so entertaining to watch. And I think the pair of us particularly just sort of egging each other on and just being ridiculous all weekend just really showed that it is a contest and you are sort of pushing for a role of responsibility. And we all know that should you take a title, that is, of course, where the work starts and then it really begins. But it has to be fun as well. You can't take it too seriously. We're all here for the love of pet play and to connect with community in a way that is fun and relatable and will encourage more people in. None of us are getting out of this alive, are we?
No, we're not. We're stuck now.
We all we all are here for a good time.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, competing for any title, not just in the pet play, whether you're in the leather scene, the bear scene, rubber, any part of the kink community, and going for a title is have fun with it. You need to enjoy yourself and do it. If at any part, you will doubt yourself as you're planning things, and you'll be like, oh, maybe I don't want to do that anymore. Maybe I shouldn't. But I always go, trust yourself. There's a reason why you want us to do that.
Entirely, yeah. And that's a big part of having strong support networks around you as well. I don't think the self-doubt ever really goes away. No. But, if you're incredibly fortunate as part of these communities, you have those people around you that will uplift you, that will guide you when necessary and give their 2 cents. As I say, we all want to see each other thrive and support one another through what can be quite a fraught experience. And that's, I think, part of that bonding that many of us have, is that we know what this feels like. Whether it's a competition or doing the work solely without a title, to keep your PAR, your club, your organization going, we want to see each other succeed. And that's what's so beautiful about particularly kink communities. Yeah,
definitely. And we've got, like, you yourself have been part of a lot of kink communities and competitions as well. You've done QPHC, you judged me my year. And then, because you hadn't had enough, you judged me again.
Glutton for punishment.
You're so judgmental. Yeah. But not just within the PAR, you've also helped with Brisbane Leather Week last year, where it was also the Australian Leather Competition, and you are our official tally pup that week.
Which was surprising to be asked, frankly, because I've got to take my shoes and socks off to count past 20. But it was quite fun, yes.
I'm scared why your shoes are involved for counting past 20.
Yeah.
No.
10 fingers.
Yeah. 10 toes.
10 toes.
So how'd you get past? You said you had to take them off to go past. So you're saying you have more than 20.
Thus proving my point. Cannot count.
There we go. But yeah, what's one thing you've actually, if you could pick one moment from each one, so say QPHC, ABHC, and the Australian comp and Brisbane Leather Week as well, what's something you have loved from each comp? Whether it be the same thing across all or individual item on each.
Yeah, I think having the opportunity to really sort of get in the weeds with the individuals that run and support these community groups, I think is wonderful. I spend a lot of time sort of online promoting events, and I try to keep a strong digital presence. But there's really nothing that quite matches that face-to-face interaction, that personability that you can have with people. And I really adore seeing people on their home turf, running their own events, really pushing forward their community, and seeing pups, leather folk, rubberists really in their element, just being so proud of the community that they've created and keep going is such a joy to watch, that pride that people have.
Yeah. And it's all of our communities putting the effort into these comps, because a lot of people will come along to either compete or just support or just be there. But the work that goes in behind the scenes from these communities, no one gets paid for any of this. It's all volunteer based. It's all done on people's own downtime. They're giving up their time to put on these events and things for you, and just go and support. Honestly, even if you can't attend, say they've got, like, QPHC this year had multiple events, even if you can just go to one of them just to support, or a lot of events will have fundraising for their title holders, or for local charities, just support your local queer charities and kinksters and just all the clubs whenever you can.
Entirely. Australia is so fortunate to have the groups that we do have, like QPAR, so many PARs around Australia, where we have, like, Boot Co. Here in Brisbane, for instance. We've got the bear groups around. Yeah. They're so incredible. And even when you can't attend events, chuck them a follow online, share their events. It costs nothing to press the send button.
Yeah.
And just anything you can do to raise visibility and awareness for their local communities and bring other people in. Attendance is so important to these events, and they're what help keep us really going.
Yeah. And it's one thing I've taken personally from you as, again, my title daddy.
Yeah.
It's Australian Puppy 2022. And one thing I've taken on as Puppy 2023 is, again, like you said, just the sharing online. Whenever I find events all across Australia, I just try and just put it on my Instagram story. It's as simple as that. Just one place where other people can see it. Different people will follow you from all over the country, all over the world online. Just sharing those events to, again, increase the visibility of those clubs.
Oh, completely, yeah. Particularly like now as well, I've noticed. I'm fortunate to have expanded the audience that I now have to be larger than just Australia. And having that opportunity to really show that, yes, we have an incredible kink scene here down under that I think has, in a lot of ways, gotten overlooked if it's not in sort of one of the main centres that people think when they think Australia. Showing that, no, Mianjin does have a thriving scene. Borlu is incredible. We're so active, like really showcasing. There are other parts of the world that are doing the damn thing.
Yeah, and the biggest thing with our events lately as well is the inclusivity of everything. It's no longer just a boys' club or a men's thing. It's all genders. Like you have events which were strictly female or strictly male. We're becoming a lot more gender diverse in all of our events as well. Like I loved seeing it last year. Like I've said multiple times already this week, the Brisbane Leather Pride and Bootco put on their Mr. Queensland Leather Boy and Queensland Ms. Leather and Leather Girl event as one, as well as having to host the Australian at the same time. So to have both sides of the comp, like two different clubs that have gone in different directions, come together was so fun to watch.
Yeah, that's wonderful to have seen. I do really love the way that we are opening doors to accessibility and inclusion rather than sort of sticking in, I'm air quoting, our own camps. The Australian puppy and handler titles, for instance, have never been gendered. And I think that's such a great way of showing that your gender expression is not a barrier to engagement, to participation. You are going to be welcomed. We're not, as you say, a boys' club or throwing up any sort of barrier. You are you. We want to celebrate you for what you bring, not how you look, how you present.
Exactly. And like you said, the puppy comps they're not gendered. It's just puppy. And after working out it this year with the Queensland Pup and Handler Comp, and this was our 5th year, and Pup Billy won. Massive congratulations to Billy and Handler Katya for taking out the titles this year. And all the competitors did such an amazing job. And when we were working things out of titles, so it's our 5th puppy this year, and it's our 3rd genderqueer winner for puppy as well, which was amazing to see.
Fantastic, yes. Yeah, very, very well deserved. By both Billy and Katya. They were so much fun to watch, which really harkens back to what we were saying earlier. You can't take these things too seriously. They have to be fun. If you're on stage, if you've ever thought about running for a competition, if you're on stage having fun, your audience is having fun, your judges are having fun. We want to see that joy in your eyes, that little glint that you are really living for what you're presenting for the rest of us.
Yeah, because it really shows when you're actually enjoying themselves. If you're just doing it for the sake of, I want a title, like it shows. You can see it when you're actually enjoying it, or whether it looks like you're putting something on to impress people.
Entirely, yeah. I think if your motivation is to have that title, to be that person, I think you'll burn yourself out quite quickly. The reality of what that means will set in. But if you're in a competition having fun the entire time, you're going to have fun your entire title year and beyond. You're still going to turn up. You're still going to have that joy, the little wink, wink, nudge, nudge with your community. And that's what you want. You want to foster a fun, a safe, and an encouraging space. And if you're getting your life doing it, then yeah, everyone that will attract people.
Yeah, it opens you up, shows you more personable and approachable to the community as well, because it's not just like, in a way, it is just a title, but it's also that approachability, the vulnerability, and just the ability to do that. Lots of tea.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's later. That's the After Dark edition. Yes,
You've got the two English people on this week, so the tea is coming out. Yes. Random tangent. Do you have a favourite tea?
Yes, I quite like a soothing chamomile tea. That's quite nice. Yes.
You fancy bitch. I was just going to go, I'm quite fond of an Earl Grey.
Yeah, no, I just can't pronounce chamomile correctly.
You just did. It's fine because you can't count.
Yes, no, fully. Yeah, I can't count, can't speak.
But she can tea.
Yeah, I can put a good brew on, yeah.
Oh, I love a good brew. Bit of PG tips, not sponsored. Please sponsor. Welcome to the running joke of what is now turning into every episode. I blame
What
Havana.
sponsorships can we
She
do?
started this, the not sponsored but please sponsor, and it's continued since then. Oh dear. I know one question that gets asked quite a lot, especially in the pup scene, and you've probably been asked it multiple times. I have as well. Even before any titles, it's asked quite frequently. And I would never be ashamed to ask this question. If you're curious, always ask, is your hood colour flagging?
Yeah, I think that's really the crux of it. Never be afraid to ask, but don't assume ever.
Never assume.
I think flagging is certainly something that is not hugely prevalent in the broader community, but is still quite strong in the kink and fetish worlds. I believe a lot of pups just really like the color blue. They really vibe with purple. And it doesn't necessarily mean anything beyond they like that color.
Yeah.
For me personally, when I was designing my first pup hood, it was very important for me that there was yellow and red. Because that I am certainly flagging, and it was important for me to showcase that, yes, I want to be here and I want to sort of showcase that I do enjoy kinks more broad than pup play. I wanted to show that sort of intersectionality between different kink spheres.
Sorry.
But yeah, I think it's absolutely not the standard that every pup is going to flag.
No.
That said, I think yellow is certainly one of those. I know you've talked about this
We've
previously.
mentioned it before.
I think a yellow pup is often a yellow pup.
I am yet to meet a yellow pup that's not a yellow pup. But I'm sure there are plenty out there. And even some that have, like, you do multiple colours on your hood with the yellow and the red, and I've got the pink and the blue. Mine aren't necessarily flagging colours, but it's like some other pups have multiple colours, and yellow could be one of them. Doesn't necessarily mean the yellow in a multiple coloured hood is flagging. It could be, but it might not be. But just ask your pups. We love talking about our hoods and our characteristics, and
There's the current Georgia pup is very proud of the fact their hood is inspired by the Hylian shield in Legend of Zelda.
Oh, that's Cam.
And if you were able to sort of deconstruct it and lay it flat, the colours would all match up, and it's absolutely incredibly done.
I must find their socials after this. I must follow. That is amazing.
Yeah, so shout out to Link over in Georgia.
What a fitting name.
Yeah, know their brand. Know their brand.
I remember meeting, or not in person, online, through Instagram, a pup in the UK called Pup Stitch. And those who know me, I know the Disney character a little bit. I don't have a lot of plushies or anything. And they design...
Lies.
Correct. No, their pup hood is literally as close to a replica of that character as they could, by coincidence.
Oh, heavens.
They didn't do it on purpose, but it's like a Mr. S style hood, who is a fantastic person if you want a custom neoprene hood. Mr. S is a great one. Mr. Bear's another. Leather hoods. We've got right here in Australia, Moose Knuckle Leather do amazing leather puppy hoods as well.
Absolutely fantastic.
There's so many companies, just research online. But yeah, it's like a Mr. S style, and it's got like that kind of purpley blue base, and the ears are purple, and it's got like a black nose, and it's got like a little, I don't know what you call it, the bit under the nose on the hood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not the top of the nose, it's that extra little, like the lip kind of bit, and it's pink, like Stitch's tongue, and they're called Pup Stitch. But they had no idea about Lilo and Stitch.
Sometimes the universe just
and I
comes
was like,
together.
I love your
it?
hood because Pup Stitch, yeah? And they're like, yeah, that's my name. And I was like, no, like and they didn't know. And I'm like, how has no one pointed this out to you? And it was just really funny. Because I also loved that hood. And I was like, I want one.
Yeah. Adds to wish list.
APHC Your Year, when it was hosted in Mienchen in Brisbane, someone donated a leather
Stitch
pup hood that looked like Stitch, and I was in a bidding war between myself and Pup Scout, who unfortunately won because he had a bit more funds than I did in the bank, but I managed to get him up to about $800 towards your travel fund.
Thank you.
My budget was about $300, and it was like $500, and I was like, $700! I did not have $700 in my bank account that day, so I'm kind of glad he went $8, and I went, oh, no.
Oh, that was a safe bet. Scout was always going to throw money at that.
I have not been to one pup event in the last few years where he has not bid on a hood.
Yeah.
I think this year he bid on the Mr. Bear hood that was very kindly donated by Mr. Bear to the Queensland Pup Comp. And I'm pretty sure he walked away with that one as well.
Yeah.
We also had a kitty hood this year.
We did.
It was adorable.
It was fantastic. Yeah, it's great to see more open pet play expression. I think for a long time, sort of, pups have ruled the world. Cue the Beyonce track. And it's nice to sort of see more pet players. Over in Borlu, we have a dragon that regularly comes to events.
We've got a couple of ponies that come to Q Bar occasionally. So we've got a couple of kitties, couple of ponies, and obviously the pups. Dragon, I love that.
It's quite a striking hood.
I've seen a few different animals on Instagram. I think it's called like Tough Squad. Something like that.
Right.
I think they're based in Brazil. I've mentioned them a few times because I would love a hood of theirs, and they are leather. And they've done I've seen bunnies, dragons. They've done like a full Anubis style hood. They are beautiful.
Stunning.
They've done pigs.
Yes, we're sat across from one now.
Bowser, hardly know it.
But yeah, it's wonderful to see. And again, I think this really goes towards that. Have fun with your kinks. Experimentation is such a huge part of this. And if you find that something isn't quite clicking, try tweaking it a little bit. There are no rules. Sort of do what feels right for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. Just give things a go until you find what works for you. That's the best piece of advice I think anyone can possibly take from a more experienced kingster is absolutely do things your way. Like learn what that is, find out, experiment, and just have fun.
What a great note to end on. Thank you, Jaxx.
Yeah, we're about to leave and have fun ourselves. Not us together, you understand.
No.
That would be deeply problematic.
And title-wise, mildly incestuous.
Youth.
Yeah. Nah, look. Oh, God, she's back.
Yeah.
God, I tried to avoid saying that this week. We're going to wrap up the episode, as we always do, with the tagline and my guest doing the Luca honk, which I know you've been looking forward to so much.
Yeah, I've sat here.
I don't think I've ever heard you attempt it.
No, I haven't. No.
Stunning.
Yeah, I've been watching the Sarah Millican video on repeat, and I'm just not managing it.
She's been practicing.
No, she absolutely hasn't.
Just a bit of revision. A little bit of revision. Well, thank you so much again, Jaxx, International Puppy 2024, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was great.
I had wonderful fun. Yes.
Great chat.
I always do every time I come here.
Hopefully we'll get you back again sometime soon on the podcast. But for now, be kind, be camp, be kinky, and always...
That's great.
You sounded like a mouse.
Pet play really diversified
Wow.
portfolio.
Bye.